We're kicking off summer with lots of new choices at the Team Automotive Group. Save on everything new during the Memorial Day sales event happening now at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
That would be concerning and maybe set a precedent moving forward.
If you have plans to be outside, you might hit a couple of these little passing showers.
A drug bust and a few arrests made. Look at what they hauled in here.
How about it? 9 years now on the first day of June, on the first day of summer, we're celebrating things.
That's a lot of firsts.
That is a lot of firsts.
Okay, then that's a pressure. Welcome to it, everybody. WAP Plus 9 News Now every Monday through Friday, just past the 7 o'clock hour now. We used to do this thing at like 9:15?
We used to.
Back in the day?
Back in the day.
So now we're joining you at 7 o'clock. Hopefully you're joining us as well as we begin that first day of June and the first day of meteorological summer.
Yeah.
Sun's up.
And it's a beautiful shot here over the capital city from our Sky9 camera. Not only the first day of summer, but the first day of the 5th season, hurricane season. Yeah. Let's get to Dr. Steve Caparata to talk about today's forecast and what we're looking ahead to later on tonight. Steve, good morning.
Morning, Matt. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, first day of summer, first day of hurricane season, as they mentioned, and we'll talk about that in a moment, right on cue. Something to keep an eye on the Gulf of Mexico. But locally this morning, all is quiet, bright sunshine over the capital city at this hour. It's our Sky9 camera brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake. Baton Rouge, 70 degrees, Gonzales, 68. Hammond right now checking in at 69. Our first alert radar network, we're dry for the most part locally. These are some ground clutter showing up around Lake Charles, a little bit northwest of Baton Rouge as well. However, this is a legit downpour between, say, Kenner and Laplace at this hour, moving westward. We've had a couple of showers around New Orleans, a couple more showing up along the coast this morning, and that's tied into an area low pressure over the northeastern Gulf that I'll show you in a moment. But locally, not much rain expected again today. I'll keep it mainly dry through the morning, quickly into the upper 80s by noon. Today's high around 92, and rain chances no higher than about 20%. All right, let's take a look at it here on our future cast. Through the morning, you see not much happening into the upper 80s at noon. We'll pause again here at 3 o'clock and a few spotty showers, not much. And right on through late afternoon, 5 o'clock, we get hints of a couple of showers showing up late afternoon into the early evening, but you get the idea. Again, today, not much happening. All right, here's what we're watching this morning. This area low pressure we've been talking about for several days has flared up quite a bit overnight. Showers and storms firing near the center. It is almost due south of Tallahassee, or a little bit southwest Tallahassee, maybe closer to Apalachicola here. Bottom line is the National Hurricane Center releasing their updated tropical weather outlook here just within about the last 15 minutes. They have increased development odds now up to 50%. Previous outlook had it at 20%. Hurricane hunters scheduled to fly out at Keesler Air Force Base in Biloxi around noon today, so we'll see what they find. A short-lived tropical depression or weak tropical storm, not out of the question. But a key point here is this thing expected to start pulling away from us. So regardless what comes of it, not really going to directly threaten Louisiana. And we do think as it gets into the weekend, conditions become less favorable. Back here at home, if you're going to the baseball regional this weekend, tomorrow it's going to be hot. Looks like low 90s most of the game. Should be mainly dry, and we will keep it hot Saturday and Sunday. Keep that in mind if you're headed out to the box. Today's rain chances 20%, 20% or less through Saturday. We'll bump them up to 30% Sunday, but notice highs, mid-90s may be becoming more likely this weekend. And next week, the first full week of June, we're going to keep it hot, low to mid-90s, and just a few afternoon storms each day. 7:06 now with an update on your Thursday morning commute. Here's John.
Thank you, Steve Caparata. Nice to see you, sir. Good morning, everyone. Glad you were with us right here after 7 o'clock as we continue to kind of give you updates on what's going on in your world. Traffic coming in from Denham slowest before the Amite River Bridge to right past Millerville. Then it does thin out a little bit. There's the O'Neill Lane backside of that traffic going toward Millerville. And this is kind of looking into the sun. That's the O'Neill Lane on-ramp making your way toward Millerville on 12 westbound. We do have some drive times coming in. Jubin to the 1012, slowest between Jubin and Millerville, we can see right here. Not quite backed up to Jubin, but almost. And then Millerville to the 1012 is only about 6 minutes beyond that. Here's the bridge traffic downtown downtown, I-10 eastbound getting a little slower coming in from Port Allen, and the LA1 on-ramp, you'll have some brake tapping as you get closer to the on-ramp to the bridge right there coming in from the west on 10 eastbound. And we're so glad you're with us this morning. We do this every morning at 7 o'clock for you because we want to capsule the breaking news that you might have missed in the overnight hours or on 9 News this morning. And for more on that, we go back to the Studio B and Liz and Matt.
And Johnny, we want to start today's headlines with a couple of new shootings. We hate to start it off, but it is some new information that police actually need your help with.
This is how many times are we doing this? This is like the start, and if you're just waking up, this is brand new. Shootings in Baton Rouge. 1 killed, 2 injured in this triple shooting in Baton Rouge, and this is just the first one we're talking about. This is actually the one happened last night. This is Prescott Road, about 10:30 last night. Again, 3 people shot, 1 person killed here. 2
others injured at this time. Again, they don't know what led up to it. No. They don't know the motive. They don't know if who a potential shooter could be.
Right.
They need your help. Prescott Road, does that sound familiar to you? 3 people shot. We don't know how many shots were fired, but that's a lot of people involved in this shooting here. That's not the only one. There was another incident off of O'Neill. This one also happening last night around 10:30, the same time. We're told that person was taken to the hospitals. They say that the victim is reportedly stable. That's the only details we have right now.
So clearly they could use a little bit of help to get them going in the right direction. It is the number you know, because we say it so often. It is Crime Stoppers at 344-STOP. It works down here because of your involvement. No one ever knows who you are. You are 100% anonymous. They don't want to know who you are. They just want to know that information that maybe can get them going in the right direction. From the Prescott shooting to the O'Neill shooting, 344-STOP.
We'll let you know when any new details come in on either.
This was the big headline maker last night into this morning from coast to coast, left coast, east coast, third coast. We got a deal passed out of the House on the debt ceiling.
So again, another hurdle moved, right? When we last spoke, we were talking about how it had to make it through the House. Right. Well, now it's on to the Senate, but that doesn't mean things are pretty, doesn't mean everyone's kissed and made up. Right. Still means that there's a lot of discourse to be had between both sides. So how does that move forward now that it's in the Senate?
And again, the deadline now, June 1, right? Monday? 5th. So, I said June 1, June 5th. June 1 was that OG deadline.
Yeah.
June 5 on Monday, got to be signed by the president, moved into law so we can pay the bills. We'll see. The vote expected to be this weekend sometime in the Senate, and then apparently somebody's going to take that and literally run it up to the White House to get the signature. But yeah, the big news last night into the morning.
We'll keep you posted on it.
Want to go to D.C.?
Hey, we can.
That's
direct.
Right.
In fact, the first flight that's come back on this new trip is going to be there in probably about 2.5.
Tick, tick.
Yeah.
Well, they left at when?
9:26. They left at 6.
5:45.
Okay.
5:45, and it gets there at like 9 something their time, 8 something our time.
That's it. So we got about an hour left until our friends there make it. We talked to 2 ladies who are traveling from New Iberia, traveled to D.C. Yeah. They're traveling to Maine eventually, but Boston, I think, is another pit stop in between. They're just here along for the ride, but they're happy that they can do this direct flight from Baton Rouge to D.C.
And now look, for those who've been around for a minute, you know this is not the first time Baton Rouge has had that D.C. connection. We did this,
Matt was there the first time.
I actually was on that first flight, but it did not last very long, the flight and the service, because it was not very well used. Those slots at Reagan National are absolutely coveted, and there's not that many of them. So if the flights aren't used, if the flights aren't full, then Baton Rouge could lose this. Again, we'll see, but it starts anew today.
Yeah, take your family. Consider a quick trip this summer.
There you go.
Love
it. There you go. Okay, we've been talking a lot about that. East Baton Rouge Parish Public School System, the district, trying to figure out a budget. They had a town hall meeting. They got a meeting you can be a part of today. And
they want you to weigh in on this. We're talking about budget proposals and making sure that there's enough pay not only for the staff system-wide, but support staff too, the janitors, the cafeteria workers, everyone who plays a part in making each campus function. So how is that going to be allotted? How is that going to work? Well, that's why they want you to have that input. They want you to come to a meeting today at 5 p.m. there. It's going to be at that Central School Board office on Foster. Again,
Easy
come
spot.
in, let them know what you think about this.
This is a big talker. A lot of folks are going to be weighing in on this.
Yeah.
Speaking of weighing in, go in, get some information, weigh in on how you can maybe get some free home weatherization. Again, when we talk about hurricane season, just getting into that, this could be a good way to get prepared.
And we know it is expensive. It's not just cheap to enforce your home, but there's a federal program that many people could qualify for. You need to apply for that. So tonight, Scotlandville at the Jewel J. Newman Center, they're hosting a weatherization event to explain exactly what they do with this program and whether you qualify and how to apply.
Whether you qualify for the weatherization?
I like that.
Well,
whether
you qualify for the weatherization, that's a lot of weathering here.
But English is hard.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
We got a weird language,
We
man.
do.
The rest of the
So many
world's
different
like,
ways.
what's wrong with you people? We're still trying to figure it out ourselves.
Yeah.
But maybe figure this out yourself. See if that's something you want to take in and be a part of. All right, so here we go. June 1, summer's rolling,
Yes.
summer's going.
Yes.
Summer camps, always a big deal. Where to go, what to do, how to find them, maybe go here.
Let's talk about it. BREC, YMCA,
Sure.
a number of different organizations hosting local summer camps for your kid to get involved and most importantly, stay busy, stay out of trouble this summer. So they're actively doing something.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a sport. It can be an activity. It can be a learning activity.
Art.
There's so many different opportunities
Yeah.
through the BREC system or the YMCA. There's also a number of places making sure,
Summer.
yes, kids are getting fed this summer.
Right. So we talk about you hear BREC, you hear YMCA, the major players, right?
Yeah.
But there's always those smaller camps out there, maybe church-based, that kind of a
Yes.
thing, or really just a neighborhood that's figured out how to come together at their little spot. There's a number of places that you might be able to find that fit your kids and the activities you want to do. Jump online right here, WAFB.com. You can find some links to potential camps. Again, June 1, here we go.
Look together, see
Yeah.
what they might be interested in.
Speaking of June 1.
Yeah, first day of hurricane season, but there's no need to worry about it. Look, our team has you covered, and they do every year. The first day of the year, they want to make sure that we all know what we're walking into. And while we don't know what is going to actually happen, we sure can be best prepared for it. So our team has a special airing right here tonight, WAFB and WAFB Plus, the 5th season, 6:30 today.
So, Steve, when we talk about the 5th season, this is something that we do focus on down here. We know how impactful it can be. And you guys have been working hard on this. What do we expect tonight?
Yeah, so we've got a number of good stories to get you through. Number one, what I think is one of the biggest things going on in our state right now is the insurance crisis.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Getting hard to get insurance, getting much more expensive when you can. So we're going to cover that. We're going to talk about the ongoing Ida recovery 2 years later, almost 2 years later in our state. We will cover what does El Nino mean for the upcoming hurricane season. Jay Grimes is going to talk about where does contraflow stand. We haven't talked about that in a long time, and we're still celebrating 70 years of coverage here at WAFB, but what's been a big part of those 70 years, a number of hurricanes, right? I'll look back at some of the storms we've covered through the years.
We haven't had the contraflow in a while for these storms.
Yeah, so Jay's going to update us on where the state stands with that. And is that even still on the books?
Can't wait,
A
6:30
lot
tonight.
to cover tonight. That's it. We'll remind you again as well, but in the meantime, we're still going to keep you posted on today's headlines, news, and weather.